Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're on a bit of a culinary mission. We're going to completely transform how we get that perfect, crispy onion texture we all literally crave, but without the heavy grease, the mess, or the total hassle of a deep fryer. In this explainer, we're breaking down a really brilliant, highly effective kitchen method from the Fast Kitchen Habits channel. It essentially proves that, yeah, you can get spectacular results straight from your oven. So, if you're someone who loves crispy food but absolutely hates the cleanup and the oil, you're going to want to pay close attention to the structural tricks we're about to explore.
Right off the bat, the creator makes this bold declaration: I'm not frying onions anymore. And honestly, can you blame him? Traditional deep-fried blooming onions are kind of notorious for being a messy problem of the past. I mean, they require gallons of oil, precise temperature control, and let's face it, they leave your kitchen smelling like a fast food joint for days. But what if you could bypass all of that? What if you could get that exact same physical architecture, those beautiful separated petals, just holding on to incredible flavor in a way that's easy, quick, and actually better for you? Well, that is exactly the secret we're unlocking today.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. The canning lid trick.
So, to get that perfect blooming shape, without accidentally slicing right through the base, you use this masterful little kitchen hack. You just take a standard canning lid and place it directly under the onion on your cutting board. Then, as you take your knife and cut down into the onion to create those distinct petals, that metal canning lid acts as a physical barrier. It literally stops your blade from cutting all the way through. By stopping at the lid, you leave the back, or the base, of the onion totally intact. This is absolutely crucial because it prevents the flour from falling apart and keeps your onion perfectly structured for the steps to come.
Now, the crucial point is what happens next. You've got this beautifully scored onion, right? But it's raw, it's tightly packed, and it's naturally bitter. So here's the science behind the flavor and the structure. You drop the onions into boiling water and let them simmer for just a few seconds. This quick boil fundamentally changes the onion. Physically, it helps the petals begin to open up and fan out. And at the exact same time, it releases that harsh, astringent bitterness you get with raw onions. But, and this is a big but, you got to immediately follow this up by plunging them directly into cold water. This cold plunge stops the cooking process dead in its tracks. It locks in that new, open shape while keeping the actual onion nice and firm.
Once you pull them from that cold water bath, you simply let the prepped onion sit for 15 minutes. Now don't rush this part. A little patience here ensures the onion rests, drains off any excess water, and is perfectly stabilized to act as the canvas for our upcoming crispy coating.
While our onion is doing its thing and resting, the creator actually asks a fantastic question. What city are you watching my recipes from? I really love this because it reminds us that cooking is this shared global experience, right? We're all trying to figure out these clever kitchen habits together. So feel free to think about where you are right now as we learn this technique because, well, this next part is where the real magic happens.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds the 3-step crispy coating.
Okay, so now we need to construct that delicious, crispy architecture to mimic what a deep fryer does. First, we establish our dry base. You take 3 tablespoons of cornmeal and gently coat the onions. Cornmeal is fantastic here because it inherently adds a really rustic, satisfying crunch. Once that dry layer is set, you move to the wet binder. You dip the cornmeal-dusted onion into a mixed wash made of 3 whole eggs, seasoned super simply with just salt and black pepper. You want to make sure it mixes well into every single crevice. Basically, this egg wash acts as the perfect glue, gripping onto that cornmeal and getting ready to hold our final, most flavorful layer. And this brilliantly illustrates how we achieve maximum flavor without the fryer. Just look at this robust list of ingredients. We take 4 tablespoons of breadcrumbs and aggressively season them. We're adding salt, black pepper, vibrant red paprika, pungent dried garlic, and fragrant Italian herbs. But you guys, the real game changer here is the Parmesan cheese. You want to grate it very finely and mix it really well into these spiced breadcrumbs. As the cheese bakes in the oven, it's going to melt, brown, and combine with all those spices to create the absolute ultimate aromatic crunch.
With your flavorful dry mix all ready to go, you carefully roll the egg-washed onion right into those breadcrumbs. And this is a very tactile, hands-on process. You want to thoroughly coat every single petal, ensuring that the breadcrumb and Parmesan mix gets deep inside the flour. That is what locks in those delicious flavors. Once it's fully coated, the whole shebang gets transferred onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. And of course, the parchment paper ensures it won't stick, which totally helps with that easy cleanup we talked about earlier.
Now that brings us to the magic number for this entire technique, 20.
You literally only need 20 minutes to completely transform this raw, coated vegetable into a crispy, golden delight. The reason it only takes 20 minutes is because you bake this at a high heat of 200 degrees Celsius, which is about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. This intense ambient heat from the oven toasts the breadcrumbs, melts the Parmesan, and cooks that egg wash into a crispy, golden shell. It perfectly replicates the crunch of a fryer, but get this, without a single drop of frying oil.
Moving right along to Section 3, the zesty avocado sauce.
Now, a blooming onion needs a complementary pairing, right? What's really interesting about this slide is the sheer amount of vibrant, fresh ingredients we're rapidly combining here. You start with 1 avocado, peeled, chopped, and mashed with a fork. Season it up with salt and black pepper and add the juice of half a lemon. That keeps it bright and stops it from browning. Mix that well. Then, to give it this creamy but incredibly light texture, you fold in 1 tablespoon of Greek yogurt. Finally, for a complex aromatic crunch, you toss in 1 finely chopped red bell pepper, fresh parsley, and 1 clove of garlic. Give it all a good mix, and boom, your delicious, zesty avocado sauce is completely ready to go.
And that brings us to Section 4, the final verdict.
So, the 20 minutes are up, and just imagine, your kitchen is entirely filled with the smell of toasted Parmesan, garlic, and Italian herbs. The final result is this stunningly visual and mouth-watering dish. Think about it. By using the canning lid trick to maintain the structure, the boiling water to open the petals, and a 3-step baking process to secure the crunch, you're left with something that is highly aromatic, incredibly delicious, and truly beautiful. You get all the visceral, sensory payoff of a classic deep-fried treat, but with the massive benefit of just baking it. Bon appetit.
To wrap things up, I want to leave you with the exact same provocative question the creator asked. How many points out of 10 would you give this recipe? After seeing the clear, step-by-step logic that removes the deep fryer from the equation entirely, is this a 10 out of 10 kitchen hack for you? Think about it. Hit up the comments and let the world know. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and I'll catch you next time.